We often think of hope as this soft, comforting thing, a light at the end of the tunnel. But what happens when the hope people are being sold is actually a lie? What if the light at the end of the tunnel is actually a train coming right at you?
That is a terrifying but perfect way to open today's discussion. We are diving into a really intense section of Jeremiah, chapters 23 through 25. And honestly, it feels incredibly modern. It's about leadership failure, misinformation, and the hard reality that sometimes everything has to fall apart before it can be put back together.
It really does feel modern. I was struck by the imagery right at the start of chapter 23. It opens with this condemnation of shepherds who scatter the flock. Now, in this context, we aren't just talking about farmers, right?
No, not at all. Shepherds here is a political and spiritual term. It refers to the kings, the priests, the leaders of Judah. The indictment is brutal. God is saying, you were supposed to feed the sheep, but instead, you've driven them away. It's a total abdication of duty. And because the leadership failed, the society is collapsing.
And yet, right in the middle of this condemnation, there's this sudden, sharp pivot to hope. But it's not a vague hope, it's very specific.
Exactly. This is one of the most famous prophecies in the book. God promises to raise up a righteous branch from the line of David. Unlike the corrupt kings they had at the time, this king will execute true justice. It's the promise that the system won't just be patched up, it's going to be replaced by something or someone who actually embodies righteousness.
But here is where the conflict gets interesting. While Jeremiah is promising this distant future hope, the people are surrounded by other voices, prophets, who are telling them everything is fine right now.
This is the part that gave me chills. Jeremiah describes these prophets of Jerusalem. They are essentially an echo chamber. They are committing adultery, walking in lies, and worst of all, they are telling the wicked, don't worry, you'll have peace. No disaster is coming.
It's basically toxic positivity, isn't it? Good vibes only while the house is burning down.
Precisely. Jeremiah accuses them of speaking visions from their own hearts, not from God. They are stealing words from each other, plagiarizing false hope, just to keep their ratings up, so to speak. God asks a profound question here. Who has actually stood in the counsel of the Lord? Because if they had, they wouldn't be comforting people in their corruption. They'd be warning them to turn back.
And because they aren't warning them, the crash is going to be so much harder. Which leads us to chapter 24 and this very strange vision of the figs. 2 baskets. One good, one bad.
This is a massive psychological flip. Okay, picture the situation. The Babylonians have already attacked once. They've dragged away the elite, the craftsmen, the young royals into exile. Those left behind in Jerusalem probably felt lucky, right? Like, we survived, God loves us more.
Right, logic dictates that staying home is the blessing and being dragged to a foreign country is the curse.
But Jeremiah flips the script entirely. He looks at the basket of very good figs and says, that represents the exiles. God is sending them away to protect them, to give them a new heart, and eventually bring them back.
And the people who stayed behind, the ones who thought they were safe?
They are the rotten figs, so bad they can't even be eaten. By clinging to the old system, by refusing to accept the discipline, they are actually marking themselves for total destruction. It's a profound lesson. Sometimes the difficult path, the exile, the hardship, is actually where God is preserving you. And the comfortable path is the one leading to rot.
That is heavy. It completely changes how you view suffering. But if we zoom out, chapter 25 stops looking just at Judah and looks at the whole world. And this is where we get a timeline, right?
Yes. For 23 years, Jeremiah has been warning them. And for 23 years, they've ignored him. So now, the clock is set. 70 years. The land will be desolate, and they will serve the king of Babylon for 70 years. It's not an indefinite punishment. It has an expiration date.
But Babylon isn't getting off scot-free either.
No. And this is the terrifying climax of this section. The cup of wrath. God tells Jeremiah to take this cup and make the nations drink from it. It starts with Jerusalem, but then it spreads. Egypt, Philistia, Edom, all the kingdoms of the north, and eventually Babylon itself.
The imagery is chaotic. It describes them drinking and staggering, going mad. It sounds like a bar fight that turns into a global war.
It's the domino effect of justice. God is described here not as a shepherd, but as a lion roaring from on high. He's shouting like someone crushing grapes in a winepress. The point is, nobody escapes. You can't hide from the consequences of evil. If God doesn't spare his own city, Jerusalem, why would he spare the nations that mock him?
It's a sobering reality check. We started with bad shepherds scattering the flock, and we end with the shepherds themselves having nowhere to flee. The leaders who lied to the people are the first ones to fall.
Exactly. It reminds us that truth, no matter how painful, is better than a comfortable lie. The false prophets offered easy peace, and it led to ruin. Jeremiah offered a hard truth, exile and judgment, but wrapped inside that hard truth was the only path to real restoration.
So the question for us, listening today, is pretty sharp. Are we listening to the voices that make us feel good, or the voices that actually tell us the truth?
And are we willing to be the good figs, to endure the hard seasons, if that's what it takes to get a new heart?
Something to think about. Thanks for walking us through the storm today.
Always a pleasure. Let's hope we see the righteous branch on the other side. If you have been blessed by this, please like, subscribe, and share this joy with others. God bless.